okay? And focus on key statements that you can quote. Okay, this refocusing is using your intellect, helping you to take control of the anger. So as they're venting, be a listener. Just listen for things you want to ask questions about. Listen for things that you can agree with, and so forth. Now, again, this idea of being agreeable, but here's another one. Be apologetic. I'm sorry this happened to you. Now, if you did it, I'm sorry. I didn't realize I was doing that. I didn't mean to do that to you. Okay, I was wrong. Be apologetic. They want someone to understand and to hear and to listen to them. They would like also someone to agree with them. And what you're really doing in this whole process, you're diffusing their anger. How can they stay angry with you if you're agreeing with them without being angry at themselves? Okay, be genuine. And that means you really want to understand. Oh, I don't want this to blow out of proportion. I don't want this to ruin our relationship. So be willing to be genuine. I really do want to understand. Don't patronize them. I really want to understand what you're going through, what you're feeling. You see, in essence, if there's a couple watching us right now, you're going to try to use these tools, I hope. But with it, you need to be genuine in using them so that one say, well, you're just doing it because he told you this. No, you need to be genuine because you really want to understand. Approach the things that you do not agree with by asking questions. You're not about taking sides. Okay? It's not about taking sides. So it's not, well, I think they really meant this, or what I really meant was, no, ask questions like, well, I wasn't there. Is it possible that something else was happening that made them angry and you just got became the victim of it? I mean, it was wrong. It's not right for them to do that way, but is it possible they were angry with someone else and you, okay, so if there's something you don't agree with, approach that with questions, not with answers. Don't choose sides. Now, another value of approaching that with questions is if they come to the conclusion, they're more willing to accept it than if you told them what they need to think, than if you told them what it should be. No. Let them come to the conclusion. So put it in question form. Now, interesting, while you're focusing on all of these things, what are you doing? You're putting your intellect to work on slowing down your emotions. Your anger is coming down. It's coming down. Your emotions in the thing is coming down, and you're able to think more clearly. Use positive statements to help the person feel good about themselves. I'm glad we had this talk. It was so important that you felt good enough to share. I mean, I think that you really, well, you're upset, but I think at the same time, I feel good that you were willing to share that with me, that you had enough confidence and trust in me that you could share positive statements that makes them feel very good. Be appreciative. Thank you for sharing this with me. I wouldn't want to have to guess at what you were going through. I could see the hurt and so forth, and I wouldn't want to have to guess at what's wrong. Thank you so much for sharing it with me because I don't want this to hurt our relationship. Again, keep that in mind. Let me go over that again. Develop positive listening skills. Be agreeable. Be apologetic. Be genuine. Approach things that you do not agree with by asking questions. Use positive statements to help the person feel good about themselves. And be appreciative. Now, there's one other thing that I want to share in this segment here, and that is when and how to confront. When and how, okay? We've got this all under control now. We're in control of our emotions, control of our feelings, and so forth, and now it's time to talk about it. We need to sit down and talk. Now, when do you control? Or when do you share? When do you share? When do you confront? When everything is under control. When I'm in control of my emotions and when they're in control. You see, the angry person doesn't even want to listen. You can't reason with an angry person because their intellect is all struggling with these emotions. So we need to have both of us under control. Okay? And then when you know what you want to say. Now, what do I want to say? You see, when it's I hurt, want you to hurt, I don't even know what I want to say. I just want to hurt. But wait a minute, when you know what you want to say, what are we going to do? We're going to go back to that list of questions. Okay? You take that list of questions and use that for your tool. Okay? This is what I was feeling, and I just need for you to understand me, and I want to understand you. I don't want this to hurt our relationship. And so this is what I want. And you don't talk about the person. The next thing we want to talk about here is being specific. But wait a minute, let's look at when and how, okay? When you know what you want to say, when the problem threatens the relationship, Okay, you don't bury it, you got to talk about it. If the relationship is threatened by it, you've got to talk about it. You want to save the relationship. If this is even something to do with work and you've got to save the relationship for those to get along at work and so forth, it's only about saving the relationship. You see, back then we're looking at the idea of understanding and being understood, not the idea of I want you to hurt. Okay, and then when you have earned the right to confront. Now, in a husband and wife relationship, you've earned the right. But I don't have the right to walk up to a stranger and tell them I don't like the color of your tie, it offends me. Okay, so it's something that you earn the right because you've, first of all, one of the best ways that I know to earn the right is to respect. Okay, respect is not something that we demand. Respect is something we've earned. And so when each of us in this relationship have earned the respect of each other, then we're sharing because we respect. We want to know because we respect the other person, okay? Now another thing, the next thing, how to confront. How to confront. Always begin and end with positives. Always begin and end with positives. If I tell this person, you said this to me the other day and I didn't really like it and I want you to know, okay, now there goes the wall. We mentioned this earlier. There goes the wall. I don't know what you're going to tell me, but I'm going to tell you, and I'm already thinking what I want to share to you, which means I'm not really listening to you. What I found out is that people like to listen to positive things. So when I tell them, you know, I really appreciate you. You mean so much to me. Our relationship, the thoughts you've got are so important to me. I wouldn't be complete without you helping me and so forth. And so we start with that positive, but this happened the other day, and I just want to share with you, and again, the next thing we're going to say is be specific. Be specific. Not, you said, you did, now I'm judging the person. No, okay, I really appreciate your thoughts and your ideas, but yesterday there was something that was said, and I just want to try to understand it better. And I need for you to understand me because I really appreciate, begin and end with positive, because I really appreciate our relationship and I don't want anything to hinder it. So you start with the positive. Now with that, I'm ready to listen. Now you're going to share with me what needs to be changed or addressed. And so I'm already listening, so I'm going to listen for it. And then I come back with another positive, and guess what I've just done? I built the person up so that in that, now if they bent on me the wrong way, whoa, where's this person that I really respect and that really respects me? Okay? So bottom line, set the tone for the whole thing by showing concepts of respect and care and the positive side. And then when you share it, be specific. Be specific. And then also share why you're confronting. I only want to share because I want to save this relationship, or I don't want this to hurt our communication. I want to resolve this so that there's no more pain. Share it, for not to get even, not to tell you I don't like what you're doing and all that. No, not that at all. Back then you're judging to the person. I'm only sharing it because I really appreciate our relationship and I want to understand and I want you to understand me too. Okay? So there's 4 ways then. Here's the 4th one. Leave the person feeling good about himself. Okay, remember the scenario of the low self-esteem? I'm glad we had this talk. I'm sorry I hurt you, but I'm glad you were willing to share it with me. Even this, I can understand your feelings. I can understand why, and I just want to tell you I'm sorry, but I really appreciate it. I'm glad you were willing to come to me with it and let me know what I did and what you're feeling and so forth. All of this then is all about coming in agreement, not building walls that we've got to climb over later. Dealing hurts that we cannot forget. You see, there's an old saying, sticks and stones break my bones, but names will never hurt me. That's a lie. That's a lie, because the negative things we say hurt. And sometimes I can heal from the broken bone, but the hurt may never heal. The hurt may always be there. The next time something happens to remind us of it, there comes the hurt again. So the concept is slow it all down, okay? Now I'm going to challenge you to take this video and this internet and revamp it and go back to the beginning and go over it again and again and again until you get all of it figured out. Because it's your relationship. It's you dealing with others. It's your own personal self that's going to take control. Can I share with you something that I did years ago? I wrote this, a lot of this material is out of a manual that I wrote, and I had someone ask me, have you got anything on anger management? And he had a problem there, a pastor. So I ran the book over to him and gave it to him. Now, the person that needed it, I never met him, don't even know who he is, don't even have a name. But I was told 2 years later that this individual, the situation had unfolded so that there was a gun involved and so forth, and this individual was almost ready to shoot his wife. He stopped, put the gun down. If I'm not mistaken, I think I heard that the shot was fired, but nobody was hurt. There was an ongoing divorce, and they weren't able to resolve things, but there was an ongoing divorce. And the pastor said he was with that person in the courtroom, and he saw him sitting there with arms folded. When I know he wanted to jump over those chairs, but he was holding himself back. He was taking control of those emotions rather than let them take control of him. 2 years later, this fellow was in the city of Pittsburgh. And in Pittsburgh, he was living in an apartment where the person was putting cables through the apartment, and the guy slipped with a screwdriver and stuck it into his hand. And he really cut loose. You know, I hurt one, you'd have hurt, and just hit my thumb with a hammer and so forth. But this man then took that book. He still had that manual. He sat down for 40 minutes with that fellow trying to tell him how to manage his anger. I'm saying that I had nothing to do with that. All I did was give him the book. I'm saying that no one's going to control your anger for you. We're not going to do it at day one, and we're not going to do it in your home. You're the only one that can do it. But I'm going to give you this positive notation that says you can. You're the only one that can, and you can. And again, in relationships, you've got to realize the way you treat each other is going to be viewed by your children. What a difference it makes in their life if they can see mom and dad sitting down and talking things through. Well, this is it for now, and we're going to be sharing some more material on helping children manage anger. Okay, confrontation, how to confront, we've already mentioned, but conflict resolution, I'm sorry, that's what we're looking for. Conflict resolution. We've got a tool we're going to share, and this basically is one of the tools we'll share with you, that list of questions. And we've got a tool for conflict resolution, and we've got 13 basic rules for helping children manage anger. So please plan to follow on in the rest of this. But take a moment now, stop and work through this and use it and put it to the advantage of learning how to use it as a tool. Thank you so much for giving us these moments. Goodbye now.